From Wish TV Channel 8, this is Indiana's own 24-hour news service.
Good morning. This is Wednesday, July 24th, and here are the stories that will be making news today. Detectives in Decatur County near Greensburg will try and figure out exactly what happened as an apparent murder-suicide there leaves 4 people dead. We'll have the story. IPS principals who are being demoted took their case to the school board last night. We'll show you the results.
And when you step outside this morning, you notice it's cooler out there and lower humidity, but how long will it continue? Well, stay tuned. I'll have the forecast.
There's news of a recall, plus the latest road and traffic information. I'm Ruthanne Gordon. We'll have that and more coming up.
State Fair Air in a bag. Would you buy this? Our next guest has a million ideas like this. We'll be back.
And I'm Dick Rea. In sports, things get out of hand Tuesday night in Wrigley Field between the Reds and the Cubs. I'll have the story.
As your 24-hour news service continues, Daybreak is next.
There was a time when riding in rail cars was the epitome of luxury. It's a time fondly remembered, and it's a time brought to life on the Indiana Dinner Train.
Join us for a very special experience, evoking all the charm and style of days gone by. The Indiana Dinner Train departs from its depot in downtown Indianapolis and offers excursions for every taste. And at the heart of every excursion is the elegance of dining by rail. Phone 262-3333 for tickets and information, and climb aboard.
Are your debts controlling your life? To control your debts, call Consumer Credit Counseling Service. Consumer Credit Counseling Service assists you in organizing a money management plan and setting up a repayment program. Funded by creditors, this nonprofit community service is dedicated to helping you become debt-free. Take action. Call Consumer Credit Counseling Service for relief of your financial burdens.
Now's the time to come to Old Indiana, Indiana's favorite summer family fun park. Your one-price admission gets you into shows and rides and fun all day. See Larry Batson's Amazing World of Animals, singers and dancers, ponies and mules, and fun for the entire family, all in a beautifully wooded park that's an easy drive from home. So bring the whole family and come away to Old Indiana Fun Park off I-65 midway between Indianapolis and Lafayette. Old Indiana, where families can have fun together.
You're watching Indiana's only 24-hour television news service, closed caption for the hearing impaired. Now, David Barras, weather with Randy Ollis, Vince Welch with sports, and special reports from Ruthanne Gordon and Dick Wolfsie, live from Wish TV. This is 24-hour News 8's Daybreak.
Wake up, Indiana. It's Wednesday, and midweek means a day of weather you won't want to miss. At least that's what Randy has been promising. Let's find out if anything's changed. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning there, Dave. Feels pretty good outside, doesn't it?
You know, it must be cool outside because you've got your wool suit on this morning.
I knew he'd mention it. The first thing, notice I didn't wear this suit when it was 92 yesterday. I went into a cold front came through here.
Yeah.
And the people home can't tell we have wool on unless
85 degrees, and you got that nice wool suit.
I need it. It's cold outside this morning. When you step outside, refreshingly cool. We'll go ahead and check the numbers for you here across the area. 64. Doesn't that beat the 75s and 76s we've had here? 64. Check out South Bend and Fort Wayne. 59 degrees up there. And snowing in Rockford. No, it's not snowing. 57 up there. Chicago right now is 59. I want to see those highlights that Dick was talking about in Wrigley Field last night.
Oh, great stuff.
Anyway, let's take a peek at our forecast. We'll see some sunshine around for a while, then clouds coming in. A warm day, but less humid, the high up around 85. And we'll talk more about that forecast here, Big Dave, in just a few minutes.
Sure it's going to be a light wind?
No, it's going to be gale. Yeah, it's going to be pretty like yesterday.
Yesterday wasn't all that light.
Oh, here we go again, huh?
News of a lane closure on the interstate, plus there are a few local road closings this morning. Ruthanne Gordon is standing by in the newsroom with more. Ruth?
Good morning, Dave. The ramp from I-465 northbound to the I-465 north leg, which is westbound toward Boone County, was closed overnight and should be open by 6 this morning. And speaking of I-465 from I-70 to 56th Street, remember the right lane will be closed through Friday from 6:30 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon. Now on to other construction projects. The right westbound lane of I-465 between College Avenue and White River will be closed for approximately 5 weeks. Work continues on the barrier wall from Michigan Road to Eagle Creek Bridge. Both the eastbound and westbound left lanes are closed. And paving continues on I-69 southbound from 116th Street south. In town, you'll see lane restrictions on Lyndhurst Drive between Melrose Avenue and Naomi Street, and Masters Road and 91st Street. And work continues on High School Road over Little Man Creek. Well, if you see any traffic problems and have a GTE MobileNet phone, give us a call to star 888. There's no charge for the call. That's a look at traffic. Back to you, Dave.
It's 5:33 and a wide-scale murder investigation is underway this morning in a small Decatur County town. Police there say a domestic dispute ended in 3 deaths and a suicide. The ordeal began yesterday afternoon just west of Greensburg in the small town of St. Omer. Reports say 38-year-old Tom Miller purchased his shotgun and went to the Thorntree Lake Trailer Park. That's where Miller allegedly shot and killed his 43-year-old wife, Donna Miller. It's believed Miller also shot his wife's twin sister, Judy Scudder, and her husband, William, before pulling the trigger on himself. A 3-month-old baby was also found in the home unharmed. Events leading up to the crime remain unanswered.
Still investigating, checking with neighbors, seeing if we can find motives in this thing. It's a tragic thing to happen here, but it happens, and it did in Decatur County.
Donna Miller's son says he found all 4 victims yesterday afternoon when he went to the trailer park to pick up his 3-month-old son. 20-year-old Michael Ramick says his mother and stepfather, the alleged gunman, were in the process of a divorce. She had just filed a restraining order against her husband, but officials say that restraining order had not yet been delivered. The investigation goes on. A report out of Milwaukee this morning says a man who lives in an apartment where body parts have been found has confessed to killing 11 men. Police have booked 31-year-old Jeffrey Dahmer on suspicion of homicide in the gruesome discovery. Dahmer was seized after a handcuffed man had escaped from Dahmer's apartment and flagged down an officer.
The 2 officers were stopped by a citizen who had indicated to him that, that he had been approached by an individual taken up to his apartment and actually handcuffed and threatened with a knife.
The body parts discovered included 3 human heads in a refrigerator. According to the Milwaukee Sentinel, there may have been up to 18 victims. An unnamed source quoted in the newspaper says the man also has confessed to practicing cannibalism. The 4 police officers accused of beating Rodney King back in March will go to trial soon, but they won't be tried in Los Angeles. A state appeals court yesterday granted a request from defense attorneys to move the trial. The defense says it would be impossible to pick a fair jury in L.A. because of the publicity the case has received. Exactly where the trial will take place is not yet known. William Kennedy Smith, who's accused of raping a Florida woman on the grounds of the Kennedy estate, is scheduled to go to trial in 2 weeks. Yesterday, Florida prosecutors released court statements from another woman who says Smith raped her 3 years ago. The woman says she was sexually assaulted after a party in Washington. 2 other women also claim that Smith attacked them, but they weren't raped. One incident happened in 1983, the other in 1988. None of the women ever filed charges against Smith, and it's unclear how prosecutors learned of the alleged incidents. After this break, we'll check back with Randy Ollis for a pleasant midweek forecast. Stay with us.
I'm Dick Wolfsie. I won't tell you what's on the back of this, but I will tell you that it's been stolen out of urinals all over town. You really have to wait and hear about this.
This Sioux Fact is brought to you by Marsh Supermarkets. Meet Phoenix, Shiloh, and Sundance, 3 of 7 bottlenose dolphins living in the Whale and Dolphin Pavilion at the new Indianapolis Zoo. The dolphins perform learned behaviors like the ones they're doing now during daily programs. Trainers use positive reinforcement such as blowing a whistle or rubbing or petting the mammal to let them know they've done the right thing. Hand signals are also used to communicate with the dolphins.
You'll see fresh savings on Star-Kissed tuna, 49 cents with Cooper. 18-ounce Kellogg's Corn Flakes, $1 with Cooper. And 4-roll Cottonelle is just 69 cents with Cooper.
At Marsh, we value you.
There's a
place that has more name brand auto parts than you've ever seen, at lower prices than you've ever seen. Just consider it heaven sent. Auto Source.
Dr. Robert P. Maddox on Sports Medicine.
In our sports-minded society, chronic pain can become a way of life. Don't mask the injury with drugs. We use the latest in X-ray analysis and therapy to relieve chronic sports injuries and pain. Call me now for a free spinal exam and consultation.
Maddox Chiropractic Clinic, now at a brand new state-of-the-art facility at South Meridian and Fairview Road in Greenwood. Call now for your free consultation and exam.
Randy Ollis has been approved by the American Meteorological Society.
Well, we were just talking what we could use is like a day-long steady rain. Do you see any out on the map there?
Yeah, absolutely not. That's what we all could use, isn't it? We all could use an oil well in the backyard and everything else here, too. We're watching out for some rain back out in Missouri. Those papers interesting there? Yeah.
I can hear you. I'm listening.
Anyway, don't let me interrupt you there if you're doing something, but we're watching out for some rain in Missouri. The southern part of the state might see some rain coming in. But I think here in Indy we should be pretty dry. Right now, a clear sky. Our temperature is 64. Our dew point 56. Look at that dew point temperature. Boy, that's gone down. Isn't that great? Yeah, it feels good out there. Humidity 75%. A light north wind at 5. The pressure 29.99. And steady during the past hour. Well, here's a look at the satellite loop the past 16 hours. Watch down south. Boom, there they go, exploding again, some big storms. You can see another wave out here in Missouri and Kansas. It is tracking eastbound, but again, I think downstate, they might see some showers or thunder showers arriving late today or tonight. Here in central Indiana up north should be a dry day, and for that matter, dry, we think, right on through tomorrow and probably for the next several days. Radar does show a big batch of rain going on in Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, down across Kansas. Again, it is tracking eastward, so downstate here, maybe some welcome rain coming in later today. Check out these temps, though. It feels great outside. 59 up around South Bend and Fort Wayne, 64 here, 74 down around Louisville, 76 down around Paducah, and highs during today. A lot of 70s and 80s out there. Those 90s, 100s being suppressed down to our south. 70s up north here, the northern plains of Great Lakes, also back on the Rockies. The Central Plains states. Our weather map does show that cold front that cooled us down. State College, Pennsylvania, we're going to send Dave out there. 95-mile-an-hour wind gusts with some big thunderstorms during yesterday. Here's our wave developing along this frontal zone that will spread eastward during the day. Cool Canadian high helping to pump down that cooler air from Canada, and that's going to control our weather, we think, for the next several days. And in fact, by tomorrow, we are going to see this little trough of low pressure heading down across Indiana, the front down south. And again, a lot of rain where they don't need the rain along this frontal zone. We're going to be nice and probably dry here through Thursday and Friday, and probably right on through the weekend. So my forecast, increasing cloudiness, a warm day, but less humid. Our high climbing up to 85. Overnight tonight, there could be some showers south of us here, probably the southern third of the state. Low temperature is 64, and tomorrow partly sunny, a pleasant day, comfortable humidity, some great sleeping weather tonight and tomorrow, 82. And the extended outlook here, I'm going to keep it dry for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 80s for high, lows in the 60s, and that's about normal, maybe a little bit below normal. So that's good news there.
That
you have a good time over here while I'm doing the weather? Or?
That 95-mile-an-hour wind you were talking about, that's a light wind, right?
That's right.
Okay. Inventors, take note. Daybreak Field reporter Dick Wolfsie has something you won't want to miss this morning. Good morning, Dick.
Good morning, David. Well, I don't know how to begin this. I'm sitting next to a guy that I've known for, I guess, as long 8 or 10 years since I've been in Indianapolis. Are you insulted by the thought of my saying you're one of the strangest people I've ever met?
Well, it depends on what you mean by strange. You know, like a guy kind of... You mean?
Not like that. Creative.
Okay,
innovative.
I like that. I like that.
You have come up, Keith Bratton, I forgot to mention your name, with some of the strangest ideas that I have ever heard of, and I thought it'd be fun to come by your apartment this morning and see them.
It's a condo, it's not an apartment.
Okay, your condo, and see them. In fact, let's start, you know, I don't want to show the best thing first, but I got to show this to everybody because I teased you with it before. I'm going to show you the back of this, everybody. Now I'm going to turn this around, and this gives you an idea of how Keith Bratton's mind works. Tell us what we're looking at. What is this?
That is a picture of Saddam Hussein, and we put these urinal screens out at the time. You know, it started in December or sometime around there, and they went quite well. And the problem is that you won't believe this, so many of them were stolen.
Truly?
Yeah, the Pure Chemical Company put these things out for us, and they were all over the country. And then the war ended, of course. But Saddam is still not a very nice guy, and I think he's worthy of the reward he gets when you stand up to him.
Stand up to Saddam and relieve your feelings. Yeah. Okay. And they've been stolen. You're going to put the IRS on there, didn't you tell me that?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I'm not going to do it yet.
Yeah, you've been afraid you'd be audited, is that right?
The thing, you know, well, see, I never thought that my artwork would be stolen.
Not from that place.
I said, I'm looking forward to be named the Man of the Year by the American Urinal Association. They're in Peoria.
Now look at this. Only Keith Bratton. I'll say that about 50 times in the next hour. You know what that is? Tell them what that is.
Well, we test marketed these bags of air from of the smells of the fair for people who would like to take some of the remembrance home to them. They put that
or if they can't go.
Yeah, or they have a son in the service, they can send it to them, and you know, aboard ship, they open a bag. My gosh, that's Italian sausage and onions on the grill,
but
or
this
it's a swine barn.
The swine barn.
Yeah,
What's
whatever.
that little window?
Well, this is one of the things that we offered to guarantee that they were getting swine barn air or whatever. They could look in the window, and then they would know what they were getting. Let me make sure.
Okay, sounds good to me. I'm going to show one more thing, then we'll show more things later. Since it's almost, you know, it's Christmas in August because they start putting up the things. What's that?
Okay, those are called Sanabolic steroids, and they're to give you some extra strength for Christmas shopping, wrapping gifts, caroling, decking the halls with boughs of holly. As a matter of fact, a Carmel company is going to distribute those for us. There's a series of them, and the Weaver Works out in Carmel is going to put them out, and they'll be all over the world, hopefully.
Well, we'll take a couple of these and get ready for the next couple of segments. David, you haven't seen anything yet. We've got a table full of some of the most bizarre things you've ever seen.
Ah, it sounds great. Thanks a lot, Dick.
Okay.
Reaction to a shakeup in the administration in the Indianapolis public schools, plus other business news, is coming up next.
Booth's Amish chicken, raised by hand in the traditional Amish manner. No preservatives, no hormones, just all natural, clean, white, delicious chicken. Our chicken comes to you from the heart of Indiana's Amish settlements, where we care enough to raise the best chicken you've ever tasted. This week, Booth's boneless, skinless breast is on special at all Marsh stores. Find out how good real Amish chicken can be.
Everyday life is full of those little bumps, bruises, and boo-boos, those little aches and pains. And they can happen at home, school, or on the job.
Moms, now until September, drop in for your back-to-school physicals for the kids. Preschool through high school is only $32, and remember, no appointment necessary.
So whether it's fever, fractures, flu, or boo-boos, Doctor's Immediate Med Center, your neighborhood med center. Prompt attention when you need it.
The Bank One Senior Champ Series welcomes the White Oak Dance Project, starring Mikhail Baryshnikov in a once-in-a-lifetime performance, Friday night, August 9th at Deer Creek Music Center. Mikhail Baryshnikov performing works by Mark Morris in a lavishly theatrical evening of contemporary dance. Tickets now at all Ticketmaster locations or charged by phone. Mikhail Baryshnikov's White Oak Dance Project, Friday night, August 9th at Deer Creek Music Center. Brought to you by Wish TV, WTPI, and Bank One Senior Champs.
Hey, have you heard about the new Win a Fortune game at Safeway? Just stop in and fill out a game ticket. Then watch Channel 8 Friday nights for the live drawing during Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, Vanna, what a peach! Pick 7 numbers in the correct order, and you could win a jackpot that could build to $325,000. Hey, that's a lot of bread. We're not talking peanuts here. We're talking a bunch.
Play Win a Fortune, and you could win a fortune. Only at Safeway.
Hey, this isn't really my bag.
547, and more than 200,000 cars are the subject of 2 separate recalls by Ford and General Motors. Ruthanne Gordon is standing by in the newsroom with the latest in this morning's Consumer Report. Ruth?
Well, Dave, a faulty part in the rear braking system of Chevy Camaros and Pontiac Fieros could cause your brakes to fail. The recall affects nearly 200,000 GM models made during the mid-'80s. And the Ford Motor Company is looking for 6,400 Crown Victorias, Thunderbirds, Mustangs, Mercury Grand Marquis, and Cougars. Ford says its cars need to be checked for a defective part in the automatic transmission system that could prevent the car from shifting into park. If you own one of the cars, you should contact your dealer about the recall. Well, in other news, there's a new controversy surrounding the Indianapolis public school system. At issue is the demotion of some IPS principals. And that created a storm of protests at the school board meeting last night. And as News 8's Liz Daly reports, teachers and parents are questioning the philosophy behind the building of a world-class school system.
The vision of a world-class school system is a great one, but we can't build anything by tearing down and destroying our strong, firm foundations, which is the very fiber of our being.
Gene Edwards is talking about Herbert Everett, an IPS principal for 28 years, most of that time at School 89. On this night, 5 days after Superintendent Cheryl Gilbert told him of his recommendation for demotion to teacher, Everett decided to do everything possible to save his job.
It has always been my opinion in my 37 years that all employees should be guaranteed due process.
Everett then requested a private hearing, which the board granted and reserved further comment. His supporters, meanwhile, encouraged the board to reconsider the proposal.
I fail to see how anyone expects to build a world-class school system by demoting a competent, hardworking, and caring administrator. Such thoughtless decisions destroy teachers' morale.
I don't know the answers facing IPS or our school. But I do believe our leader, as a human being, deserves more respect and dignity than has been shown to him.
The board voted 5-2 to accept the superintendent's recommendations, which included the demotion of 4 principals and the reassignment of 27 others. Dr. Gilbert explained the demotions reflect a lack of initiative on the part of current administrators.
There is no doubt in my mind that all of the staff people who have been effective are positive, good people who care about kids. We just don't think, from our perspective, that they are consistent with the level that we're trying to get to.
There is a chance the board may reconsider its decision following a private conference with Mr. Everett. A time for that meeting, however, has not yet been set. At the Education Center, Liz Daly, Wish TV, News 8.
Indianapolis Mayor William Hudnut and 3 Hoosier congressmen struck out Tuesday at a hearing on base closures. Hudnut spoke to a House subcommittee in Washington trying to convince Congress to reject the report that calls for closing Fort Harrison and Grissom Air Force Base. The mayor said the commission's quick decision, based on a 15-minute tour, is a slap in the face to Finance Center employees who have invested their lives in civil service. However, the subcommittee voted overwhelmingly to accept the closure list. Indiana Congressman Frank McCloskey, Jim Johnson, and Dan Burton also testified. That's a look at some news. Back to you, Dave.
All right, thanks, Ruth. Next in sports, a check on veteran status out at the Colts camp. Plus, news of an exciting night at Wrigley Field where the Cubs and Reds locked horns. Dick Rea has both stories coming up.
Recently, Healthline magazine compared 16 popular diets. And you know what? Only Nutrisystem got a perfect score. Not Jenny Craig, not Weight Watchers. Only Nutrisystem. What does that mean to you? This is what it means.
Call Nutrisystem now and lose all the weight you can for only $34.50. Call 1-800-321-THIN.
Discount Fabrics in Franklin, Indiana has done it again. Ready-made and custom drapery sale from only $8.97 a pair. Store-wide fabric sale from only $1 a yard. Upholstery fabric sale from only $4 a yard. A city block-long store. 2 sales floors. Quality dress, drapery, and upholstery fabrics and ready-made draperies at discount prices. Discount Fabrics across from the courthouse, Franklin, Indiana. Open 7 days. Major credit cards and checks accepted.
Who needs the hassle of spending hours trying to find the lowest price on a new car? Do you? At Dell & Oldsmobile, we keep it simple. Your price is right here, tagged and in the window. Not sticker price, your low Dell & discount price. You'll find it anytime you look, when we're open or even when we're not.
Dell & Oldsmobile, 4 blocks east of Keystone on 96th.
Now finding the lowest price is simple, because we continue to simply sell for less.
This is XP News Director Ann Craig, and this is famous radio voice Gary Todd. If you can't tell them apart by looking, listen for the difference on XP FM Experience 98.
Dick Rea in for Vince Welch this week, and Dick, quite a brawl, not brawl, that's the wrong word, but some excitement at Wrigley Field.
I think we get a little education here about baseball. We find out about tempers, and we find out that they sell a lot of beer up at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Something in the air Tuesday night in Wrigley Field. The frustration of two teams struggling coming through loud and clear. First of all, Andre Dawson disputing a called third strike. Joe West says, "I've heard enough," and Andre is out of here. So are several bats in the Cubs dugout. And Andre goes another round with the bats. Later, Jim Essien would be thrown out of this game because of the outburst. The fans start pelting the field with beer cups and beer. The Cubs, incidentally, would win this game 8-5, but in the process, more fireworks later on in the contest when Rob Dibble, just off a 3-game suspension for throwing at a batter, throws the ball at Doug DeCenzo and is also ejected from the game. So it's probably likely that he'll be hearing again from the National League office. 8-5, the Cubs are a winner. We'll have the complete baseball story coming up later in this newscast, but for now we'll tell you that the Dodgers won, the Braves lost to the Pirates, Detroit wins, and the White Sox lose, and our Indianapolis Indians pulled within a game of Buffalo, winning Tuesday night in Denver. An active day Tuesday up at Colts Camp in Anderson, and Mark Patrick has a complete wrap-up, including the first practice of veteran wideout Stanley Morgan.
For the 15th year, Stanley Morgan is undergoing the rigors of a professional football training camp. Just as the young Colt receivers now look to Morgan, number 86 had mentors of his own that first pro camp with New England.
Randy Bataha, Marlon Briscoe, and Darryl Stingley. Those guys, they came out, they helped me to learn the system and to learn it as quickly as I could, and they sort of got me started on the right foot.
After initially failing his physical last week, Morgan, who still clocks a 40 in the 4.3 range, came back as a tough wide to bump when it comes roster reduction time.
I know if you look at our highlight film from a year ago, Morgan just jumps out at you. I think a limited number of catches, but big productive plays.
You know, another year has made him a lot more comfortable, and Stanley's a real pro, so he's going to do it the way it should be done anyway.
Another veteran wide receiver remains the only unsigned Colt, Jesse Hester, as today Eugene Daniel, Chris Good, and Chip Banks all signed new contracts. Kevin Call, Donnell Thompson, and Tony Siragusa all signed contract extensions. From Colts Camp in Anderson, Mark Patrick, Wish TV, Sports 8.
A few players missing practice yesterday, Dave. Shane Curry, Dwayne Bickett, and Jeff Harrod. Some minor injuries are day-to-day. Probably just a little tired with all the heat and everything.
We're getting too excited. I mean, everything's going too well for the Colts. You know, something's got to happen.
It'll be soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Dave. Well, Randy, I had a question for Dick about Andre Dawson.
When he threw all those bats in the field, who had to go out there and pick him up?
I'm sure the bat boys.
The bat boy did?
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Extra pay for that guy, I hope, huh?
Wow, hey, those vendors, the beer
there?
vendors made a lot of money yesterday. Everybody threw that out, and they said, hey, I better order another one.
That's right.
Oh, Doug.
Well, I didn't know he was that wild. I mean, I guess all of us get mad once in a while, but to throw bats like that.
Yeah.
It's the heat.
Yeah, it is.
The
You're
heat.
right.
Blame the weather.
If we had gotten some decent weather, you know, a little bit of rain to help out, it wouldn't have been like that.
Unfortunately, it's nice and cool up in Chicago during yesterday. It was 101 the day before, and they're only low 80s yesterday, so it's pretty nice.
Great.
See, Andre wanted the heat back, I think. So, well, anyway, let's go ahead and take a peek at the computer this morning. See what we're doing here. There's a front down to our south. Notice that bright white area back on Kansas and Missouri.
I do.
That's a wave of low pressure. Now, Illinois has updated their forecast here, and they just stuck rain in there for central and southern Illinois. That is heading eastbound, so if it holds together, there might be a few showers moving into Indiana later on today, especially the southern half of the state. You doubt me here, don't you?
No, I believe you.
Do you really?
I do.
Well, we'll see what happens.
I love the weather.
So we'll have to watch that.
The weather seemed to be cooperating for this morning's scheduled launch of the Space Shuttle Atlantis, but the liftoff has been scrubbed anyway because of a computer glitch in an engine. The mishap is likely to keep the shuttle grounded for at least another week. Atlantis' mission is to deploy a $120 million satellite in space. We'll check the top news stories of the day right after this break.
The battle over the antidepressant drug Prozac continues, and Wish TV's Debbie Knox was first to bring you an in-depth look at both sides of the controversy.
The debate between Lilly and the Church of Scientology.
First, to interview the president of the Church of Scientology.
You have taken a very aggressive approach. Has this hurt you? Has this hurt the Church?
When it's news that affects the health of Indiana's own, count on the experience of Debbie Knox. No one covers the health scene better. Another reason why Wish TV is your 24-hour advantage.
Once people understand the facts about their drinking water, the rest is simple. When it comes to pure bottled drinking water or the reverse osmosis system, whether at home or in your office or even hospitals, Culligan is there. I feel good about what we're doing, and I may not look the part, but I'm a Culligan man too.
For a limited time, you can rent a Culligan water conditioner or drinking water system for only $1.75 per week. No deposit required.
Hey, Culligan man!
2.9%. I repeat, 2.9%. Your local Ford dealer announces low 2.9% financing for 48 months on 1991 Ford Escort. That's 2.9% financing for 48 months on the Ford Escort LX, the sporty Escort GT, or the roomy Escort wagon. Test drive the best-selling car of the 80s, completely redesigned for the 90s, and get low 2.9% financing. Only at your local Ford dealer and only for a limited time. Hurry!
I hear tell there's a new hospital coming to town.
Don't say.
Yep. Here it's got all private rooms and free parking.
Free parking, huh?
And some of the finest physicians and staff this town's ever seen.
Well, where is it?
Should be here any minute.
What's it gonna do, fall out of the sky?
Midwest Medical Center, a new era in healthcare for Indianapolis.
Midwest Medical Center, huh?
Yep.
Wake up, Indiana. It's Wednesday, and here are the stories that will be making news today. Detectives in Decatur County near Greensburg will try and figure out exactly what happened, as an apparent murder-suicide there leaves 4 people dead. We'll have the story. IPS principals who are being demoted took their case to the school board last night. We'll show you the results.
And you can say goodbye to the 90s across central Indiana. We've had a cold front move down and some really nice temperatures out there for the next several days.
A look at an unusual how-to book, plus the latest road and traffic information. I'm Ruthanne Gordon. We'll have that and more coming up.
And I'm Dick Wolfsie. State Air Fair. Is that right? State Fair air in a bag or a record for your plants. All the inventions of this man, Keith Bratton. We'll meet him in a few moments.
Did you say successful ones?
And in sports, we'll have a most eventful evening at the ballparks. I'm Dick Rea, so stay with us.
It's 6 a.m. This is Wednesday, July 24th. It was on this day in 1866, 125 years ago, that Tennessee became the first state to be readmitted to the Union after seceding during the Civil War. No need to secede from Indiana today. Randy's here with a forecast you won't want to miss.
What was the last state, too?
We had that last week. What was the last state again? Virginia?
Don't remember, do you?
Gosh, I'll think of it. North Carolina? We had it last week.
No, you guys
yeah, we did. Well, that was the day you were on vacation. I forgot.
Again,
yeah.
huh?
Again, yeah. Are you working a full week this week?
Yeah, why?
Well, it's just surprising. I just wondered.
First time in, what, months, I guess?
It seems that way.
I'm trying to catch up with you if I can.
Listen,
goodness, you're off, what, 2 weeks in a row? I've never had 2 weeks off in a row.
Ever?
Never have. Not vacation-wise, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let's take a peek at the high temperatures across the area today. Look at that there, a cool down. Those 90s being squeezed down to our south, a lot of 70s and 80s. And my forecast here, look for increasing cloudiness, a warm day but less humid, high up around 85. We're watching out for some rain now back out in Illinois and Missouri. That could be skirting the southern half of the state later today and tonight. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes.
All right. One interstate ramp may be opening at this hour. Plus, there's news of some local road closings. Ruthanne Gordon has the details. Ruth?
Well, Dave, the ramp from I-465 northbound to the I-465 north leg, which is actually the westbound towards Boone County, was closed overnight. It should be open by about 6 this morning. And speaking of I-465, from I-70 to 56th Street, remember the right lane will be closed through Friday from 6:30 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon. Now, on to other construction projects. The right westbound lane of I-465 between College Avenue and White River will be closed for approximately 5 weeks. Work continues on the barrier wall from Michigan Road to Eagle Creek Bridge. Both the eastbound and westbound left lanes are closed. And paving continues on I-69 southbound from 116th Street south. In town, you'll see lane restrictions on Lyndhurst Drive between Melrose Avenue and Naomi Street and Masters Road and 91st Street. And work continues on High School Road over Little Man Creek. If you see any traffic problems and have a GTE MobileNet phone, give us a call. Just star 888. It's very simple. There's no charge for the call. That's traffic. Back to you, Dave.
It's 6:02 and a wide-scale murder investigation is underway this morning in a small Decatur County town. Police there say a domestic dispute ended in 3 deaths and a suicide. The ordeal began yesterday afternoon just west of Greensburg in the small town of St. Omer. Reports say 38-year-old Tom Miller purchased a shotgun and went to the Thorntree Lake Trailer Park. That's where Miller allegedly shot and killed his 43-year-old wife, Donna Miller. It's believed Miller also shot his wife's twin sister, Judy Scudder, and her husband, William, before pulling the trigger on himself. A 3-month-old baby was also found in the home but was unharmed. Events leading up to the crime remain unanswered.
Still investigating, checking with neighbors, seeing if we can find motives in this thing. It's a tragic thing to happen here, but it happens, and it did in Decatur County.
Donna Miller's son says he found all 4 victims yesterday afternoon when he went to the trailer park to pick up his 3-month-old son. 20-year-old Michael Ramick says his mother and stepfather, the alleged gunman, were in the process of a divorce. She had just filed a restraining order against her husband, but officials say that restraining order had not yet been delivered. The investigation goes on. The city of Milwaukee is trying to recover from one of the worst crimes in its history. It involves a 31-year-old man accused of murdering several men and keeping their body parts in his apartment. Newspaper reports this morning say there may have been as many as 18 victims and that the suspect has confessed to practicing cannibalism. CBS News has the latest on the investigation.
Police arrived at the scene. They found the dismembered remains of what could be as many as 15 victims. Heads were found stored in a large freezer, and limbs were reportedly stuffed in drawers. In custody is the apartment's resident, 31-year-old Jeff Dahmer of Milwaukee. For more than a year, neighbors had smelled an overwhelming stench coming from Dahmer's apartment. This neighbor confronted him.
He told me it was the freezer. You know, my freezer went out again. My meat spoiled. He said, this keeps happening, you know. So I don't know what can I do about it. So I just throw it away.
Police were led to the scene by a man they believe was destined to be the suspect's next victim. He managed to escape in handcuffs and flag down a passing police car.
The 2 officers were stopped by a citizen who had indicated to him that, that he had been approached by an individual taken up to his apartment and actually handcuffed and threatened with a knife.
Many of the remains were reportedly dipped in acid, making it difficult to determine the identities of the victims. Police say all of the victims appear to be adult males. They believe some are from outside the Milwaukee area. The suspect was convicted in 1988 on child molestation charges. He was released a year later after writing a judge that, quote, he no longer wanted to contribute to the human misery in this world. People in Milwaukee are wondering how the human misery that was suffered here went on as long as it did, undetected. Esme Murphy for CBS News in Milwaukee.
A furniture factory in southwestern Indiana is out of business following a fire yesterday. The 3-alarm blaze burned out of control at the factory owned by Kimball International in Chandler, which is just outside of Evansville. Officials believe the fire began when wood chips fell onto a conveyor belt and got inside a motor, causing it to ignite. 6 firemen were treated for heat and smoke-related injuries. 45 people worked at that factory. A fire here in Indianapolis caused extensive damage to a northeast side home late Tuesday. Investigators believe the home had been vacant for a few days. There's no word yet on what caused the fire. One fireman was overcome by the heat, and another suffered burns to his head and neck. 37 members of the Indianapolis Fire Department were honored last night for their work. In ceremonies at the City-County building, the firemen were recognized for heroism, which in some cases meant putting their lives on the line in order to save a civilian or another firefighter. A break from the heat is finally here. Randy Ollis has the forecast in detail coming up next.
I'm Dick Wolfsie. This is a Bloody Mary Fix-It kit. Just one invention of this man. Wake up.
Well,
wake
not
up.
really. It's an idea Ted Schenberg gave me.
We'll be back. Wait, he's always talking. I'm Dick Wolfsie for Nutrisystem with our receptionist, Carolyn Drain. Good morning.
Hi, Dick.
You've been on the Nutrisystem diet how long now?
3 weeks now.
And how are you doing?
I'm doing real good.
How
good? 10 pounds. 10 pounds now.
Yeah. Now, 10 pounds, maybe the friends don't notice that quite yet, although a couple of people have said something to you at the station.
Yeah, because it shows in my face now.
It really does.
Yeah,
how about
you?
you? How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel a lot smaller myself. Really.
How about clothing? Any difference?
Yeah, it's time to buy new clothes.
Okay, and that's another good excuse to buy clothes.
That's right. That's right.
There are some people at home that say, oh, gee, I've tried everything, it won't work for me. Did you feel that way, and what do you say to those people?
I did feel that way, but it does work. It does work. That's all I got to say.
Okay, now everyone, people who have just joined us, we're going to follow Carolyn for the next several weeks and see just how much weight she can lose. So as always, we wish you luck, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks a lot. All right.
Call Nutrisystem now and lose all the weight you can for only $34.50. Call 1-800-321-THIN.
It's hot. It's the Super Summer Sale at Stouts RV. And this week, you can take advantage of sizzling summer savings on every holiday Rambler in stock. It's our final week, and we've reduced every motorhome, fifth wheel, and travel trailer below current market value. For example, this week, Free Spirit travel trailers are now just $140 per month. Don't miss the final week of our Super Summer Sale at Stouts RV. Simply unbeatable. I-65 at the Greenwood exit.
When your garage doors or electric openers need service, call us at Garage Doors of Indianapolis. Call us this morning for service today. Today.
6:09, there's a new controversy brewing within the Indianapolis public school system. At issue is the demotion of some IPS principals. And it created a storm of protest at the school board meeting last night. The board voted to accept the superintendent's recommendations, which included the demotion of 4 principals and the reassignment of 27 others. Dr. Cheryl Gilbert says the demotions reflect a lack of initiative on the part of the current administrators, but opponents of the proposal are questioning the philosophy behind the efforts to build a world-class school system.
Fail to see how anyone expects to build a world-class school system by demoting a competent, hard-working, and caring administrator. Such thoughtless decisions destroy teachers' morale.
Herbert Everett, an IPS principal for 28 years, says he'll continue to fight for his job. He's requested a private meeting with the board and says he'll ask the board to reconsider its decision. Randy Ollis says no need to reconsider going outside today. It should be awfully nice.
You're in a good mood this morning. Goodness.
I
all
feel
wound up there,
marvelous.
Singing before the show and all that. Either you're going on vacation again,
no,
the boss is gone, or whatever. I don't know.
I was thinking about getting a haircut this weekend.
So that's reason to celebrate. Huh?
Yeah.
At least we still have a little bit left, both of us here.
Yeah, actually, you know, just off the sides, the top is self-thinning.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And it usually takes you about, what, 1 minute to go under and you leave, and that's it.
That's it.
Pay them $15.
They do it fast.
Just move them in one after another.
$15, get out.
You need, what are you
for
paying?
this hair? Get out.
What,
What's the weather? Do the
your
weather.
Perm there or whatever? Anyway, partly cloudy. We're down to 59. You might need a hat when you go out this morning. It's cold out there. 59 degrees. Our dew point 57. The relative humidity, that's at 93%. We do have a light breeze at 3 miles an hour and the pressure 30.01 and rising during the past hour. Oh, here's our satellite loop. You can see a lot of cloud cover. Thunderstorms blowing up down to the south. Watch out here in Kansas, Missouri, now spreading into central Illinois. In fact, Illinois just updated their forecast and put in some scattered showers in central Illinois, and this is moving due eastward, so we'll have to watch it closely during the day. Southern half of the state could see some scattered showers moving in later today and during the nighttime hours of tonight. Let's go ahead and check the numbers for you. It is nice and cool out there in some areas. We're down at 59 here in Indianapolis, up around South Bend, likewise 59, 60 at Fort Wayne, 72 kind of muggy, Louisville, 70 down around Lexington. Cooling down, though, a lot of 70s and 80s out there. Those 90s kind of being suppressed on down to our south, and some 100s again and back out in the desert southwest. Here's our weather map. The front that cooled us down, 95-mile-an-hour winds. That came in from State College, Pennsylvania during the day on Tuesday. High pressure helping to bring down the cool, dry air from Canada. And you can see that little wave now out here across parts of Kansas and Missouri. And again, that is heading almost due eastward. Showers and even some thunderstorms going on. It's raining right now back out around St. Louis, Missouri, and through parts of Kansas, down into the Texas Panhandle. Tomorrow morning's map does show that front down to our south. We are going to see a little trough of low pressure moving on down. The big weather story, though, will be high pressure bringing in some cool, dry air from Canada. It looks like temperature-wise now, we ought to be pretty good here, probably right on through the entire weekend. So my forecast, we'll see increasing clouds during the day, warm but less humid, and there could be some scattered showers across the southern half of the state later on today. The high temperature 85. Overnight, mostly cloudy, chance for some showers again across the southern half, the southern third of the state. Our low temperature is 64. Partly sunny and nice day tomorrow, the high up around 82, and the extended outlook here pretty good on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 83, 85, 82, low humidity and lows in the 60s. So that's going to be feeling pretty good outside.
Boy, sounds
that,
nice,
huh?
yeah.
It's going to be okay. But we're watching that rain in Illinois. The southern half of the state might see some scattered showers later today.
Nah, it's going to hit the borders and just go.
But it will miss your house for sure.
You got it. Why didn't I think of that? That's what you'll be saying after you see what Daybreak Field reporter Dick Wolfsie has for us this morning. Good morning, Dick.
Dave, you're talking about the drought, no rain and everything. This is perfect. You know what this is? I'm going to put right down on the table.
Wetware.
Well, that's right. Keith Bratton is with me, inventor, raconteur, etc., etc. What is that, Keith Bratton?
Well, we came out with these, they're T-shirts packed in water, and so it's called instant wetware. And we made that a few years ago when they had a big drought out in California, with the idea not only could they wear it, they could drink it. They would send it in water, packed in water.
Now, Dave, I want to try to ask you to guess what this is.
What that is?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yes, could you?
A fishing lure.
Well, okay. Keith Bratton, tell him what that is.
That's a jumper cable for battery-operated watches that's going to solve the problem about people being late for work.
Yeah.
You know, in other words, all you do is hook it up to your partner's electric watch, you get a kick start, and you're off to work.
You've been stuck out in the highway, haven't you, Dave?
Yes.
Needed your watch jump. Okay, now.
Yes.
We're not through yet.
Okay.
Keith Bratton, tell us what this is.
That's a record we came out with. It sold quite well, by the way, called Vegetation Conversation, and it was music and thoughts for things in pots, mostly poetry. And it followed that up with, for plants that couldn't hear, with a thing called the Horn of Plenty. It was a hearing aid for the plant that can't. And it really went over pretty good because there was a big fad there for plants that wanted to have some conversation.
Some of the talent on this is Dandy Dirt, Rich Soil, Bendy Stem, and Philodendron, whom we're all familiar with. Now,
Phil's still around, by the way.
We're going to show this. I'm going to show this each time because this is so great. First of all, this is, I'm going to, just to make this a little quicker, this is a urinal, what would you call a urinal? Urinal screen with Saddam Hussein's picture on it. You could put anyone's picture on this.
Yeah, in fact, if he's got an 8x10 glossy,
David?
Yeah, Dave, send me one. We'll have him put on there.
Well, Dave, you wanted your pictures around town.
Wait a minute.
People won't look up to you; they'll look down at you.
There's a 2.5-year wait for the 8x10.
there is now, right?
Yeah. I think it's just jumped to 4 years.
Okay.
Hey, those things are still in production, by the way.
Is this this is your real job then, right?
Well, is this your real job?
Or is it?
It is now. I'm pretty much semi-retired from the advertising business. I have a few clients that have stuck with me, but mostly I do creative work and write things and whatever.
Dave, real quick, the Bloody Mary Fix-It Kit. You know how you never think your Bloody Mary is perfect?
Yeah.
You can think it's perfect now. Got all the condiments right there.
Boy.
Great. We got more next time.
I can hardly wait.
I bet you can.
Thanks a lot, Dick. A how-to book that could end up on the bestseller list. We'll tell you about this controversial book that's selling well in Indianapolis next on Daybreak.
That's a greenback guarantee. You know, since we first introduced our greenback guarantees, a lot has happened. As expected, we gave away a few $10 bills. But more importantly, with your help, we improved the quality of your service. And now there are even more greenback guarantees. Not only will we smile and thank you for doing business with us, respond by the next business day or sooner to your consumer loan requests, and be completely accurate on your checking and saving statements, we'll now be completely accurate on all statements you receive from us. Get back to you by the next business day or sooner on any questions we can answer immediately, and if approved, deliver your Visa or MasterCard within 5 business days of application. If we don't perform on these, you get $10 for telling us about it and helping us make the way you bank even better. That's not just a promise, it's a greenback guarantee.
The greenback guarantees from the Merchants National Companies. Nobody makes banking easier.
Hard water stains are the toughest stains in toilet bowls, and I ought to know.
It's my job to clean them. So I use Snowball Toilet Bowl Cleaner. Snowball is 50% stronger than Lysol or Vanish, so it powers out even the toughest hard water stains better, faster. Take it from a pro. You want to finish a tough job better, faster? Use Snowball. It's the toilet bowl cleaner with real muscle.
Snowball and Snowdrops are available now at these fine stores.
Well, look, maybe the guy wasn't listening.
Oh, here it comes.
When allergies come on this strong, Benadryl comes on stronger.
Call 1-800-962-1234 for information on the pollen count in your area. That's 1-800-962-1234, the Benadryl Pollen Track Hotline. Toll free from any touch-tone phone.
6:18 and the ultimate how-to book may end up on the bestseller list. News 8's Ruthanne Gordon is in our newsroom with more on a book that's stirring controversy over the right and wrong of euthanasia.
Well, Dave, the book Final Exit explains in explicit details how the terminally ill can go about taking their own lives if they so wish. The author of the book, Derek Humphrey, says the book is not about suicide, it's about self-deliverance of the terminally ill from their sufferers. But a local physician says the book could be harmful.
But I think it's dangerous. There are a lot of very depressed people in our society. It's an epidemic, really, of suicide in depressed people, in both young and old. And to have information like that widely available and circulated, I think is a dangerous precedent.
Final Exit has been selling well in Indianapolis. A number of bookstores contacted by News 8 say the book is now back-ordered. In other health news, researchers say sudden infant death syndrome could be caused by the type of delivery. Rob Vaughn has that and more in this morning's health report.
The leading cause of infant death may be linked to delivery and labor events. Currently, there are no known causes or ways to predict sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. A sample of SIDS cases shows that certain types of breech delivery increase risks for SIDS by 7 times. These breech babies are delivered feet first. Another risk factor was found in long labors of 16 hours or more. Researchers believe a breech delivery may indicate an earlier problem in the fetus's development. An experimental drug that shrinks enlarged prostates is under FDA review. More than half of the men over 50 have this disease that blocks their urine flow. Currently, there is no drug for this disease. Often surgery is the only hope for treatment. However, that may change soon with the drug Proscar. Researchers report successful results of Proscar in trials of over 1,000 men worldwide.
We've seen a significant shrinkage of the enlarged prostate gland, improvement in urine flow, and improvement in the symptoms associated with the disease.
FDA approval is expected sometime this year. This is Rob Vaughn reporting.
And we end this morning with a story from the South Side where a number of people are coming to the aid of an 8-year-old boy from Greenwood. The youth is suffering from an inoperable brain tumor. The Central Indiana Regional Center's Bloodmobile was at a Southside Indianapolis beauty school Tuesday where students and staff donated blood in the name of Nicholas Myslinski. The little boy needs frequent transfusions at Riley Hospital for Children. The Greenwood Moose Lodge on Smith Valley Road will hold a benefit dance and auction for Nicholas at 9 p.m. this Saturday. In addition, an account has been established at the Bargersville State Bank where donations are being accepted to help the boy's family pay its medical bills. That's a look at health news. Back to you, Dave.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ruth. After this time out, Dick Rea shows us the highs and lows from the Major League ballparks, plus a recap of a busy day out at the Colts training headquarters, all next in sports.
It's the Buyout Madness sale at Value City. $260,000 special purchase. Missy Famous Maker Rayon separates, not $44 to $48, only $14.99. Men's rayon shirts, not $25 to $30, only $14.99. Part of an $850,000 buyout. Juniors Famous Maker sequin knit tops, not $25 to $32, only $9.99 and $10.99. Part of a $5 million Gitano buyout. Women's t-shirts and slacks, not $22 to $25, shirts $3.99, slacks $7.99. During the Buyout Madness sale at all Value City department stores.
You know when it's right. You know when you feel it, baby.
You'll know it's right when you can get 2-liter bottles of Pepsi and Diet Pepsi, buy one, get one free with coupon.
Diet Pepsi, You got the right one, baby.
You know, All he said was 2-liter bottles of Pepsi and Diet Pepsi, buy one, get one free with coupon at Kroger.
You got the right one, baby.
With 100% NutraSweet.
Is this a wonderful day? Yeah! Is this a great day? Yeah! What are you waiting for?
A new Toyota. Today's the day to get a great deal.
Toyota Trucks, the truck line that's #1 in customer satisfaction. Your Toyota dealer has option package savings up to $900 plus big factory dealer incentives. There's 4Runner, ranked best compact sport utility vehicle in customer satisfaction with option package savings up to $800.
Today is the day to get a Toyota.
Yeah!
It's Christmas in July at H.H. Gregg, and through Monday, this Whirlpool chest freezer is only $269 with no payment or finance charge till November. Right now at H.H. Gregg.
Dick Rea in for Vince Welch this weekend. Dick, some crazy things at Wrigley Field.
Crazy goings-on. You know, last night they tied a Major League record for a number of grand slams throughout the league, and I think at Wrigley Field last night they set a new record for beers on the field.
Yeah.
It was a wild game, a busy night for the umpiring crew and the grounds crew at Wrigley Field Tuesday, and one that the fans will be talking about for a long time to come. The Reds winning a wild one, 8-5. John Goodman, the actor, was at the game, and wow, he saw some weird things. Andre Dawson disputing a called third strike. The Cubs winning this game, I should say, 8-5. Look at Dawson after being thrown out, arguing the called third strike. And umpire Joe West ejected him from the game. Also, manager Jim Essium was thrown out. The fans get into the act, showing their displeasure. Look at all the beer and the beer cups on the field. Big night for the Reds, but they lose this game. Chris Sabo had a pair of home runs, number 14 and number 15 of the year. Now watch what happens here with Rob Dibble. He's just back off a suspension. He throws the ball at Doug DeCenso. He was ejected for that move. That may have been a questionable call if you watch the base path closely, but the Cubs winning that game last night 8-5. Let's move on to Three Rivers Stadium, and the Braves lose ground in their pursuit of the Dodgers. Jose Lean will triple into right field. John Winter will score for the Pirates. Bobby Bonilla comes up with his 12th home run of the year, and that helps Pittsburgh knock off the hot Atlanta Braves big time. Final last night was 12-3, the Pirates winning at home. Gary Reed is also with a grand slam in that game for the Pirates. The Dodgers win in 10 innings over Philadelphia. They're up now 3.5 on the Braves. St. Louis over Houston 5-1. Extra innings, but San Diego beats Montreal 2-1. San Diego was the winner there, I should say, and it was San Francisco beating the Mets 4-2. In the American League, Jack Morris was back at his old ballpark in Detroit, trying to become the first in the majors to get 14 wins. Highlights of the Twins and the Detroit Tigers, and Cecil Fielder with a big night, a pair of home runs. He now has 26 on the season. And Morris is hit with a line shot and suffers a bruised forearm. Had to leave that game. There's Fielder with his second blast as the Tigers beat the Twins last night 6-3. At Arlington Stadium in Texas, manager Bobby Valentine looks on as Nolan Ryan makes his 545th start and picks up another win. The Red Sox falling again. Julio Franco, outstanding play at second, off balance to rob Mike Greenwell of a hit there. Rangers still bothered with the flu bug, but Ruben Sierra left his sick bed in time to make for a big fifth inning rally, and the Rangers beat Boston 5-4. So on the board, the Texas Rangers trail the Twins now by just 4 games. Oakland winning last night over Cleveland. The White Sox also pulled within 4 of Minnesota by beating Toronto. California beats Baltimore. Kansas City nipping Milwaukee, I should say. And Ken Griffey Jr. with a grand slam in Seattle's win over the New York Yankees. In AAA ball last night, the Indians are now back to within a game of Buffalo in the Eastern Division of the American Association. The Indians winning in Denver last night 6-2, and the same two will go at it in the Mile High City later on tonight. David?
Dick, I wanted to ask you this. What's it like to have that much hair?
It's terrific.
Is it hard to keep your head up?
Yeah, I do a good job.
Thanks. Maybe someday, and never mind. Next on Daybreak, we'll show you what's making news on this Wednesday, July 24th. Stay with us.
Attention all former military personnel. If you are between the ages of 30 and 69 and you served in any branch of the armed forces, you are now eligible to apply for term life insurance. at the guaranteed rate of just $1 a week. That's right, just $1 a week. With money often tight, it can be tough to get the extra life insurance you need. That's exactly why this affordable $1-a-week term life plan was developed by Veterans Life to help you get what you need at a price you can afford. And it's exclusively for veterans and spouses ages 30 to 69. Whether you served during wartime, peacetime, active, or reserves, you can apply for term life protection for just $1 a week. Just pick up your phone and call this toll-free number now. Free information will be rushed to you by Western Union. Imagine life insurance you can afford with valuable features like a $1-a-week rate, first day coverage, and benefits that never go down. And it's so easy to apply. There are no hassles, no pressure, and no obligation. You'll also get news about our Veterans Double Bonus, a discount eye care plan for you and your family, plus our Veterans Newsletter series filled with VA news, benefit updates, and more. Both your eye care plan and your subscription to Veterans Update are free with your term life protection. So if you're a veteran or the spouse or the widow of one, don't wait. Call now.
Veterans and spouses ages 30 to 69, call 1-800-228-5353, and we'll rush you a free information package on $1-a-week term life protection. That's 1-800-228-5353. There's absolutely no cost or obligation. Call now, 1-800-228-5353.
$1 a week. It's one of the best ways going to give your family the extra security you want them to have. Call now.
Wake up, Indiana. It's Wednesday, and here are the stories that will be making news today. Detectives in Decatur County near Greensburg will try and figure out exactly what happened as an apparent murder-suicide there leaves 4 people dead. We'll have the story. IPS principals who are being demoted took their case to the school board last night. We'll show you the results.
And when you step outside this morning, it's actually a little bit on the cool side, 59 degrees, and we have a rather pleasant forecast.
I'm Ruthanne Gordon, and we'll have the latest road and traffic information, so stay tuned.
A Bratton, a Beagle, and a Bagel, and we'll be back.
I'm Dick Rea in sports. It's a warm welcome for the Colts Stanley Morgan and an early exit for the Cubs Andre Dawson. We'll have it all.
It's 6:30. This is Wednesday, July 24th. It was on this day in 1969, 22 years ago, that the Apollo 11 astronauts, get it, Bratton, Beagle, and Bagel or something, 2 of whom had been the first men to set foot on the moon, splashed down safely in the Pacific. It's safe for Randy to give us his forecast today because it should be very pleasant.
Well, you're in a great mood this morning here.
I am. Well, you know, Dick had that thing with made me laugh.
You like that?
Sorry, it was funny.
I tell you what, we're talking about a really good forecast out there today. We're 59 degrees right now. I want to show you the jet stream here by Friday and the weekend. We're looking for a cool down. Getting some new maps even as we're speaking, and it does show low pressure kind of closing its way off across the upper Great Lakes. That's going to keep us rather pleasantly cool here for the next several days. So my forecast, increasing clouds. It will be kind of warm but less humid. I'll tell you, later today, the southern half of the state could see some scattered showers coming in, the high up around 85. And we'll talk more about that extended forecast here in the old jet stream, what that means, just a little bit.
You think I need a haircut?
No, you look just fine this morning. You're such a good mood here, and we're glad.
Thanks. As you're traveling into work this morning, you may find more construction projects. Ruthanne Gordon is standing by in the newsroom with more. Ruth?
Dave, you're always in a good mood, buddy.
I am.
Yeah. Well, the ramp from I-465 northbound to I-465 North Leg, which is the westbound toward Boone County, was closed overnight and should be open at this hour. And speaking of I-465 from I-70 to 56th Street, remember the right lane will be closed through Friday from 6:30 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon. Now on to other construction projects. The right westbound lane of I-465 between College Avenue and White River will be closed for approximately 5 weeks. Work continues on the barrier wall from Michigan Road to Eagle Creek Bridge. Both the eastbound and westbound left lanes are closed. And paving continues on I-69 southbound from 116th Street south. In town, you'll see lane restrictions on Lyndhurst Drive between Melrose Avenue to Naomi Street and Masters Road and 91st Street, and work continues on High School Road over Little Man Creek. If you see any traffic problems and have a GTE MobileNet phone, give us a call. Just star 888. It's very simple. There's no charge for the call. And that's traffic. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Ruth. It's 6:32, and a wide-scale murder investigation is underway this morning in a small Decatur County town. Police there say a domestic dispute ended in 3 deaths and a suicide. The ordeal began yesterday afternoon just west of Greensburg in the small town of St. Omer. Reports say 38-year-old Tom Miller purchased a shotgun and went to the Thorntree Lake Trailer Park. That's where Miller allegedly shot and killed his 43-year-old wife, Donna Miller. It's believed Miller also shot his wife's twin sister, Judy Scudder, and her husband, William, before pulling the trigger on himself. A 3-month-old baby was also found in the home unharmed. Events leading up to the crime remain unanswered.
Still investigating, checking with neighbors, seeing if we can find motives in this thing. It's a tragic thing to happen here, but it happens, and it did in Decatur County.
Donna Miller's son says he found all 4 victims yesterday afternoon when he went to the trailer park to pick up his 3-month-old son. 20-year-old Michael Rimmick says his mother and stepfather, the alleged gunman, were in the process of a divorce. She had just filed a restraining order against her husband, but officials say that restraining order had not yet been delivered. The investigation goes on. A report out of Milwaukee this morning says a man who lives in an apartment where body parts have been found has confessed to killing 11 men. Police have booked 31-year-old Jeffrey Dahmer on suspicion of homicide in the gruesome discovery. Dahmer was seized after a handcuffed man had escaped from Dahmer's apartment and flagged down an officer Monday night.
The 2 officers were stopped by a citizen who had indicated to him that, that he had been approached by an individual, taken up to his apartment, and actually handcuffed and threatened with a knife.
The body parts discovered included 3 human heads in the refrigerator. According to the Milwaukee Sentinel, there may have been up to 18 victims. An unnamed source quoted in the newspaper says the man also confessed to practicing cannibalism. The 4 police officers accused of beating Rodney King back in March will go to trial soon, but they won't be tried in Los Angeles. The state appeals court yesterday granted a request from defense attorneys to move that trial. The defense says it would be impossible to pick a fair jury in L.A. because of the publicity the case has received. Exactly where the trial will take place is not yet known. William Kennedy Smith, who's accused of raping a Florida woman on the grounds of the Kennedy estate, is scheduled to go to trial in 2 weeks. Yesterday, Florida prosecutors released court statements from another woman who says Smith raped her 3 years ago. The woman says she was sexually assaulted after a party in Washington. 2 other women also claim that Smith attacked them, but they weren't raped. One incident happened in 1983, the other in 1988. None of the women ever filed charges against Smith, and it's unclear how prosecutors learned of those alleged incidents. There's a new controversy brewing within the Indianapolis public school system. At issue is the demotion of some IPS principals. It created a storm of protest at the school board meeting last night. The board voted to accept the superintendent's recommendations, which included the demotion of 4 principals and the reassignment of 27 others. Dr. Cheryl Gilbert says the demotions reflect a lack of initiative on the part of the current administrators. But opponents of the proposal are questioning the philosophy behind the efforts to build a world-class school system.
Fail to see how anyone expects to build a world-class school system by demoting a competent, hard-working, and caring administrator. Such thoughtless decisions destroy teachers' morale.
Herbert Everett, an IPS principal for 28 years, says he'll continue to fight for his job. He's requested a private meeting with the board and says he'll ask the board to reconsider its decision. The rain-free weather will continue the next few days. Randy Ollis checks the forecast when Daybreak continues.
Ever talk to your golf ball and it doesn't listen? Well, it needs ears. We'll see other inventions in just a moment.
Lady, in all my years as a plumber, I've never seen worse.
Oh,
We had to take down the entire wall.
my head.
With a little luck, we'll have the water back on in a couple of weeks.
Where's my Anison?
When you've got a splitting headache, reach for Anison. Anison relieves headache pain better than regular strength Bear or Bufferin.
Glad you're feeling better, lady. Here's my bill.
Anison, strong pain relief for splitting headaches.
Lazarus 14-hour sale has always been, well, big. You can't miss with 10 to 50% savings throughout the store. And let's not forget the extra 30% off selected clearance items. But it just keeps getting bigger and better. Like this Friday, look for our new big one-day-only super specials. Terrific prices on the newest, hottest stuff. Get these solid savings and extra hours to shop at Lazarus ultra-modern 14-hour sale. Friday only.
How can you tell when someone you love has a drug or alcohol problem? Look for warning signs like mood swings, paranoia, anger, lies, despair, missed work, money problems. If you or someone you love is in trouble with drugs or alcohol, Charter can help. We offer real solutions to your family's problems.
Take steps now to help someone with a chemical dependency problem. Call Charter Hospital. If you don't get help at Charter, please get help somewhere.
Hi, I'm Larry Mize. You have a chance to beat the pro and win some big prizes, too. Tune in to Sports Locker with Fred Khalil and Mark Patrick, Sunday at 11:20 on Wish TV, Channel 8.
6:38. The weather seemed to be cooperating for this morning's scheduled launch of the Space Shuttle Atlantis, but the liftoff has been scrubbed anyway because of a computer glitch in an engine. The mishap is likely to keep the shuttle grounded for at least another week. Atlantis' mission is to deploy a $120 million satellite in space. Well, Randy says our weather is going to be nice today.
Is it?
That's what you said.
I think so. I'm a little bit worried this morning here. You know, I've been studying the maps real hard last night and this morning. There's some rain spreading into parts of central Illinois, back out in Missouri, raining out around St. Louis.
You've got that worried weatherman look, I can tell.
Yeah, I tell you, we're just kind of got to watch it real close here, if you know what I mean. But there could be some scattered showers, southern half of the state later today and tonight. Well, anyway, right now at the airport, partly cloudy. 59 degrees. Look at that there. 59 outside. Boy, oh boy, compared to the mid-70s, it feels great. I talked to a guy from Lafayette this morning, and this is the truth. He told me that he drove in with his heat on in the car this morning.
Get out.
I'm serious. He said, yep. I said he's lost a lot of weight, and he's, you know, needs to warm up, so he turned the heat on. Where are we anyway? The humidity 93%, a light west wind at 3, and the pressure 30.01. And rising. Thank you there, Steve. Anyway, here's our satellite loop the last 16 hours. Watch these storms kind of balloon up and fall apart down south. And another wave out here in Kansas, Missouri. Showers now spreading into parts of central Illinois. So if they hold together, southern part of the state might see a few showers coming in later today and in through tonight. But again, they should stay, we think, mainly down south of us. 59 here in South Bend, 60 up around Fort Wayne, 68 Evansville. Louisville right now at 72. Highs during today, we're cooling down, a lot of 70s and 80s out there and some 90s, being some pressed down to our south. Big storms in through parts of Pennsylvania. State College, 95-mile-an-hour winds yesterday. Baltimore, Maryland, a record high of 102. And here's that high, helping to bring down that cool, dry air from Canada. Raining back out around St. Louis, into parts of Missouri, Kansas, back out across the Texas Panhandle. Tomorrow's map does show high pressure, bringing down some nice air. A little trough moving down across the area. Check out the jet stream map, though. This is by Friday. You can see a closed low developing across the upper Great Lakes. That's going to bring down that cool air from Canada and I think keep us at or below normal temperature-wise for the next several days. So the forecast here, increasing clouds, warm but less humid. And we could see a few showers scattered about the southern half of the state here later on today. The high temperature 85. Overnight tonight mostly cloudy. Could be some scattered showers. The southern half of the state low 64. And tomorrow partly sunny, nice. The high up around 82. The extended outlook pretty good here we think for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Low to mid 80s and highs and lows in the 60s.
So you really think I shouldn't get a haircut?
No, you look fine. You're doing just great today.
All right, thanks. Okay. Daybreak field reporter Dick Wolfsie has had some inventive segments before, but this morning's is really inventive. Good morning, Dave.
You were laughing because you did the beagle and cream cheese joke, I know.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
cream
right.
Cheese.
As soon as I was just waiting for the proper moment to do that. I'm with Keith Bratton, inventor, advertising man, songwriter, cartoonist, man, you name it. We were showing this at the tees. Tell us about it. You have a couple of golf things. What's that?
Well, I'll tell you, I go out at Pebblebrook. You ever been out there?
Yeah,
Great
sure,
golf
you know
course.
Yeah.
I go out there and play and test these devices, and you always see golfers talking their ball. You do it
all the time.
Get on the hole, or stop slicing, or whatever. Down. So now we're working on this one that has ears on it, so you can hear it.
And does it listen?
Well, we don't know. So when we go out and play, that's a
don't touch it. You know not to touch that.
That's a tee sharpener. What happens, you sharpen your golf tee, and it gives you.
Oh, you want to show it? Is that why you were grabbing it? I'm sorry. I slapped your hand.
A sharp tee goes into the ground easier, right?
Okay.
It saves energy. The energy that saves will allow you to hit a ball, let's say on a par 3, probably get a hole in 1. With a dull tee, it'd probably come up 1 7/8 inches short of the hole.
Makes a lot of sense.
Oh, it sure does.
What about this thing? Everything's
this is a new product, by the way. That's can you see that?
Yeah, we go.
We're getting this ready to put out. We have a company called Unique Seats. This is the first one. It's called the Johnny Apple seat. Yes. And it's being made for us down at Goodwill Industries, and we're going to have it for distribution. Our first customer, by the way, is Connor Prairie Farm.
Is that right?
At their Apple store.
Okay,
that's a serious one.
I was going to say.
Once you sit on it, you'll sit happily ever after.
Pickup sticks. I've got to ask. What are pickup sticks?
Well, okay, you see the configuration. They're $500 bills.
Yeah.
We test marketed those out in Carmel, of course. And what you do, you hit them together. If you go into a bar, lounge, restaurant, wherever, swimming pool, hit them together, and they set up a visual allure and tonal vibrations that attracts a girl's attention. Anytime people hit $500 bills together, it's going to attract somebody's attention.
This was a big seller, you say?
Well, certainly, of course. Everything is. That's why I'm so wealthy.
Okay, one more thing here. We've shown this before, but for our new viewers, with the State Fair coming up in about 10 days, 2 weeks, tell us about that.
Well, we're planning to bag the smells of the fair.
Yes.
You have bags of fair. And you can look in the little port and see that if you get swine barn, cow barn, the potpourri is people say, boy, I love the smell of that fair. Oh, it's fair. You know, the Italian sausage and the pizza and the corn on the cob and the pork chop. So we've got potpourri. We're going to put that. We have to get passed by the Clean Air Act has to allow.
So if you miss the fair smells in the middle of winter, this is it.
That's right.
Dave, I got to tell you something. This is a man sitting next to me who a couple of years ago opened up a concession at the State Fair. You know what it was?
No.
It was between the pork chop pavilion and the corn of cob pavilion. You know what this guy did?
What did he do?
He sold dental floss.
Great idea.
I'm telling you, why? If we could think of those things,
oh,
you know,
you're not kidding.
We wouldn't have to get up this early.
We were going to start a string of them called flossies.
Okay. Anyway, hey, tomorrow we're going to go to an ostrich farm.
Oh, great.
Why, I don't know, but that's what we're going to do.
Oh, great. There's a lot of those out there, right?
That's right.
Thanks, Dick.
Okay.
There's a new millionaire here in Indiana. We'll have that story, plus news of an advertising change by lottery officials coming up.
Recently, Healthline magazine compared 16 popular diets. And you know what? Only Nutrisystem got a perfect score. Not Jenny Craig, not Weight Watchers. Only Nutrisystem. What does that mean to you? This is what it means.
Call Nutrisystem now and lose all the weight you can for only $34.50. Call 1-800-321-THIN.
To finish, may I suggest something a little sinful?
Yes?
Imagine whipped, creamy, chocolatey filling, nestled between crisp wafers, light as air, then bathed in rich, sinful European milk chocolate. Yes?
Introducing Choclairs.
Did I lie?
No, but you could.
Choclairs, a sinful European candy bar.
It's hot. It's the Super Summer Sale at Stouts RV. And this week, you can take advantage of sizzling summer savings on every holiday Rambler in stock. It's our final week, and we've reduced every motorhome, fifth wheel, and travel trailer below current market value. For example, this week, Free Spirit travel trailers are now just $140 per month. Don't miss the final week of our Super Summer Sale at Stouts RV. Simply unbeatable. I-65 at the Greenwood exit.
That's a greenback guarantee. You know, since we first introduced our greenback guarantees, a lot has happened. As expected, we gave away a few $10 bills. But more importantly, with your help, we improved the quality of your service. And now there are even more greenback guarantees. If we don't perform on these, you get $10 for telling us about it and helping us make the way you bank even better. That's not just a promise, it's a greenback guarantee.
From the Merchants National Companies.
6:46, and in business news, investors are hoping the stock market rebounds today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down about 30 points on Tuesday, and the NASDAQ Composite Index of over-the-counter stocks was down more than 5 points. Dealing with money and numbers is a specialty of the Hoosier Lottery, but officials there are becoming experts in the field of audio production. That follows the changes in the voice of an actor in their latest TV commercial, not once, but twice. News 8's Rick Dawson reports on the changes and the comments from the black community that prompted them.
A few weeks ago, the lottery began running this spot, with the voice of a white actor used under video of a black actor.
Quite a windfall.
Why was the voice redubbed?
The voice of the original actor, at the advice of our black media consultants and 2 black members of our staff here at the lottery, was that it was not very flattering to the actor and not very flattering to the Hoosier Lottery.
So under a tight deadline, the lottery found a white actor to revoice the commercial.
But this week, the commercial was changed once again. Here's a little bit from each of those versions.
First, the voice of the white actor.
There are 2 new games from the Hoosier Lottery. First, there's big money. Your chance to win big, up to $50,000 instantly.
Now the revised spot with a black actor's voice.
There are 2 new games from the Hoosier Lottery. First, there's big money. Your chance to win big, up to $50,000 instantly.
Some minorities called and let us know that they thought that it wasn't right that a white actor was used to redub the voice of the black actor that we saw on the spot. We were up against a time deadline and we found a voice as quick as we could, and then we redubbed it, and it's now a black actor's voice that is redubbed over the black actor's video.
They asked me if I had a fax machine. They faxed the script over.
John Saunders is the black actor whose voice is on the newest version. His part of the spot was taped last Friday.
I don't have any problem with it, except that I would emphasize the point that they're going to use a black actor, they ought to have a black voice. It's very simple, or a black person's voice, let me put it that way.
These kind of dubs are made all the time in the advertising industry across the country, every day of the week. We did not give ourselves enough time to correct the problem should a problem arise. It did arise. What we've learned from this is give yourself enough time to make changes if the changes are necessary.
And then there's small change. Your chance to win often, up to $500 instantly. How's that for the...
This new spot will run through the end of the week. No more changes are planned.
And both could be your ticket to $1 million on TV.
Rick Dawson, Wish TV, News 8.
Speaking of the lottery, last Saturday's Lotto cash winner has come forward to claim her prize. She's a 67-year-old grandmother from southern Indiana. Alice Lance of Stewartsville says she picked the 6 numbers at random just hours before Saturday night's drawing. Lance says her only income until becoming a millionaire was a Social Security and retirement check from a General Foods plant in Evansville. When we come back, Dick Rea has a look at sports, including a recap of last night's antics at Wrigley Field, where the fans even took part. That and more as your 24-hour news service continues.
Booth's Amish chicken, raised by hand in the traditional Amish manner. No preservatives, no hormones, just all natural, clean, white, delicious chicken. Our chicken comes to you from the heart of Indiana's Amish settlements, where we care enough to raise the best chicken you've ever tasted. This week, Booth's boneless, skinless breast is on special at all Marsh stores. Find out how good real Amish chicken can be.
Revlon creates No Sweat, the revolutionary 24-hour antiperspirant time-release deodorant.
No sweat.
Extra deodorant protection when you need it most. No sweat. No sweat for men and women.
Attention RV and mobile home shoppers. Here are the facts. Tom Raper, Richmond, Indiana, has by far the Midwest's largest inventory of RVs and mobile homes. The Midwest's largest indoor showroom. The Midwest's largest service department. Nobody beats Tom Raper's bottom line deal. Not now. Not ever. When the facts are in, the fact is, it's absolutely worth the drive to Tom Raper's 60-acre complex, Richmond, Indiana. No fluff. Just fact.
Another Meineke profile of the smart and thrifty. There they are. They're not celebrities, they're not millionaires, but they know how to take advantage of life's finest because they know the value of $1. It's no secret, she's very economical.
I clip coupons and shop on Wednesdays.
And how did he contribute to this culinary experience?
I didn't pay a lot for a muffler at Meineke.
Come to Meineke Discount Mufflers, the muffler and brake specialist, where you'll get more life out of your car and more miles for your dollar. At Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot for a muffler.
Dick Rea in for Vince Welch, this weekend. Dick's got something from Wrigley Field you'll want to see.
You guys have fun on this show, don't you?
Yeah, we sure do.
Can't wait to see you on Friday, the way things are going here on this Wednesday.
The best is Friday before vacation. Ooh, doggies, that's so much fun. I think it's illegal.
Okay, some fun stuff to show you last night up at Wrigley Field, and if what happened last night is any indication, the Reds and Cubs should be in for a dandy series this week. They seem to have brought out the best and worst of each other. Speaking of the worst, here's Andre Dawson. Gets called out on a third strike and goes right at Joe West. Joe says, "You're out of here." Andre goes berserk. A couple of rounds with the batting cage inside the dugout. Not once, but twice do the bats leave the dugout. Later, Jim Essian will be ejected, getting involved in the argument. The fans also getting involved in a very artistic way. Almost looks like fireworks at Wrigley Field Tuesday night. Rob Dibble also will be ejected from the game just back after a 3-game suspension. Will throw the ball at Doug DeCenso. The Cubs winning this game 8-5. The Reds have now lost 12 of their last 13 games. Wild one last night. Let's check out the board as the Cubs have won 3 straight, while the Reds dip 1 game below 500. In extra innings last night, it was the Dodgers beating Philadelphia, the Braves finally losing to drop 3.5 back in the West, Pittsburgh winning there, St. Louis beating Houston 5-1, in 11 at San Diego over Montreal, San Francisco beat the Mets 4-2. Over in the American League, Cecil Fielder with a pair of home runs. He now has 26 on the year. Texas over Boston 5-4. Oakland beating Cleveland. Chicago beating Toronto, their 4-back of Minnesota. California beats Baltimore 5-4. It's Kansas City 8, Milwaukee 7. Ken Griffey Jr. had a grand slam. There were 4 grand slams hit last night in Major League Baseball. And in the American Association, the Indians winning on the road 6-2 over Denver. The Colts continue to get their house in order. Now only 1 veteran unsigned. That's wide receiver Jesse Hester. Anderson buzzing yesterday with the addition of a healthy Stanley Morgan. Minor injury prevented Morgan from passing his physical last week, but he's healed and appears to be in better shape than last year, which was his first in a Colt uniform. Morgan told our Mark Patrick it's good to have a year under his belt with a brand new team.
All I needed was just a little weekend rest and just get out there first 2 a day.
What about being back in familiar surroundings for a change after playing under the same system for so long in New England? Last year essentially was almost a rookie learning year for you, even though you had so many years in the league.
Well, it feels great because I sort of know what I'm doing. I have a feel for what they're expecting me to do, and I have a little more confidence this year than I did when I first got here.
I know if you look at our highlight film from a year ago, Morgan just jumps out at you. I think limited number of catches, but big productive plays. 26 maybe catches and 6 touchdowns. I'd like to have those ratios every time.
Later tonight, the World University Games get going. Calbert Chaney and Eric Anderson of IU taking part in the basketball competition.
Very good. Dick Rea in for Vince Welch. Back with a wrap-up right after this.
Good for you. You waited for the perfect time to get a new Mazda. The Mazda Summer Savings Express is here.
Get a Mazda MPV now. With a Mazda Value Pack and limited time incentives, you can save up to $1,278.
Hurry! This can't last long.
The Mazda Summer Savings Express. At your local Mazda dealer now.
It starts with itch and irritation, and then hemorrhoid flare-up. For soothing, cooling relief on contact, get Tux medicated pads. Tux pads, the one hospitals trust most.
People who use plain calamine lotion to relieve itches or poison ivy are easy to spot. But new Caladryl Clear not only works better to stop the itch, it dries this clear. So nobody will ever spot you. New Caladryl Clear.
And now famous radio voice Gary Todd will describe some of the trips he and American Transair are giving away every day for 98 days on Experience 98. Cancun, Peter the Great, St. St. Petersburg, Freeport, Nassau. Las Vegas. Win an American Transair trip for 2. We're giving away 1 a day for 98 days on WXXP Experience 98.
This is Sizzler's all-you-can-eat salad bar. This is the build-your-own tostada bar we added to Sizzler's salad bar. And this is the dessert bar we added to the build-your-own tostada bar that we added to Sizzler's salad bar. Now, what more could we possibly do to improve a feast like this? Add dinner. Presenting Sizzler's giant fried shrimp and salad bar dinner. Big crunchy fried shrimp that come with all of the above for the price below.
Sizzler. 6:57. Before you head out, Ruth's going to tell you what's going on today. Ruth?
Well, Dave, the Indianapolis Airport Authority will conduct the second public information workshop for noise compatibility beginning at 5 this afternoon at the Plainfield Community Center. And speaking of airplanes, 6 World War I replica airplanes will be landing at the Mount Comfort Airport at 6:30. And finalists in a statewide carpenters competition will be demonstrating their skills at the Convention Center today. And in traffic, other than those construction projects, your drive into work should be smooth. Back to you, Dave.
All right. Thanks, Ruth.